This is Jonathan St. James, and you're listening to The Truth is Still Straight podcast.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, you are listening to The Truth is Still Straight. And this is Jonathan St. James, along with Donnie St. James on the lovely summer evening. How's everything other than hot and humid?
I think that's the main situation, honestly. When it's this hot, I can barely think about anything else.
Yeah, I'm the same. Yeah, definitely the same. It's a little hot in the studio here. I gotta do something, put an AC in here or something like that. Generally in the past, it hadn't been this hot, but today is extra hot. So it's hot in here. I can't open the window because then you'd hear everything in the background. So that's the only thing. Yeah. All right. So what else is going on? I don't know. I'm just all over the place here. I don't really have much. I wanted to just really get into the video, reaction video today. So let's kind of talk about that. And this is going to be a Kevin Samuels, one of my favorite guys. And today's reaction is going to be based on his Instagram interview, but it's on YouTube, and it's called Dating Doesn't Work for Modern Women. And it says, IG Live gets real. So I'm gonna get right into that. And then hold on one second here. I need to get to the right setting. Okay, we're gonna get right into that, and then we'll react to it. All right, folks, here we go. Any day now. Hold on here. Here we go.
Curious, why don't you like people?
Hold on. How about you introduce it? I don't know you. Haven't said hello. You just came in. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. How old are you?
I am 39.
All right. You mind getting steady?
Let me grab my glasses so I can focus on you.
Fair use, by the way. Fair
Thank you
use.
for your patience. Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Dating is dumb. What do you got?
Dating is dumb. I mean,
women don't know how to pick husbands. They don't know how to pick men.
You know, I don't know if I'm an expert, but you got to date someone to get to know them.
No, you don't. What do you got to know?
Their personality.
No, you don't. No, you don't. No. When did dating become a thing?
I don't know. You know, my mother is Muslim. They believe you should just get
When
married.
did dating become? Yeah, because that's what you do. Because you don't know nobody until you live with them. When did you go to college?
Yes.
Did you graduate?
I did.
Okay. About what decade did dating become a thing?
Not the 60s, maybe the 70s.
About the 50s, when they decided to start making a greeting card industry. Dating became a thing to sell homes and rings. Prior to that, your grandmother and your great-grandmother, if you wanted to get married, you walked over to somebody, you got a wife, the daughter's of marrying age, I need a woman, make the arrangement, jump the room, get on down. You didn't even have to have a marriage license until the miscegenation laws came into effect to keep black men and black men from marrying white women. You didn't even need a license.
Okay.
Dating.
Now, I want to stop that really fast because I watched this. I only remember the beginning portion of this, but I want everybody to pay attention. And Donnie, you pay attention. Watch what's going on here. So you heard that opening conversation. Now, in a couple of minutes, the topic of conversation is going to change. And she's going to say something that I don't know if she's telling a lie. You'll see. I don't want to really reveal it, but I just want to bring it to everyone's attention because she's doing something here right now. And then in a couple of minutes, she's going to do something very bizarre. And she's going to pivot from one way of conversing with Kevin to another. So I'm going to put it back to that. And then you'll see what I'm talking about when it happens. Okay.
It's never been a thing.
Well, marry me tomorrow.
No, I got somebody already. About him.
I mean,
Okay, so you heard that, right? Did you hear what she just said to him? All right. So for those of you didn't hear it or may not be paying attention, she was flirting with him. I don't know if if you're watching the video and not listening, you'll see that she's kind of making this face at him. It's almost like a face of admiration or, attraction. And then she says, well, marry me tomorrow, meaning Kevin marry her, not, like justice of the peace, and he could perform the ceremony. She's actually propositioning him in a flirtatious manner. But I want you to see what happens right after this. Okay, continue.
understand your philosophy.
It's not my philosophy. It's the world's philosophy. Where in the world did people date?
In America, that's for starters.
No, the newest country on the planet.
I don't know. I feel like if I hadn't dated the guys that...
Are you married?
I am not married. I'm divorced.
Okay.
So, there's that.
Mm-hmm. So before we dated, we had a marital rate of, before 1965, the black community was married at a rate of 80%. How is dating helping black women keep husbands?
I don't know if it's dating. I think social media may not be great.
Okay, but before social media, before 2000, divorce rates were still going down. You said you need to get to know somebody. What do you need to get to know?
Fair use, but he meant to say going up. Divorce rates going up, not down, just to be clear on that, folks.
I don't know if dating is the main contributor, not to disagree.
Ma'am, you're not making a good, you're saying, I don't like what you're saying, but you're not saying why what you're saying makes any sense.
I'll say that because women, we're changing. Our roles are changing.
Yeah, you're getting worse.
Okay.
You're changing into men.
She has nice teeth.
Well, I don't believe in changing into men.
You are. You
no
are.
matter
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why women are changing into men.
Fair
What's
use.
the average height of
Nice teeth
a
for
black woman? A woman in this country.
My height, 5'4".
How much does an average black woman weigh in this country?
That I don't know.
Guess.
150.
180.
That was a cap.
Okay.
The average black woman weighs more than the average black man in her height.
150.
Strong, independent, don't need no man. A black woman, stereotypically known for being feminine, feminine, cooperative, and submissive. Stereotypically. Yes, no.
Yes.
They are?
I can't speak on that.
No, yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. See, if we're not gonna have an honest conversation, we don't need to do this. Stereotypically, are black women thought, when you think of feminine, cooperative, submissive, is the black woman's image the image that pops to the top of your mind, even in black media?
No.
Thank you.
No.
So black women in general, in our community in particular, are getting worse. Did you not just see this woman walk up and shoot a woman point blank in the head in Brooklyn?
I did.
So how are you telling me my women are becoming like men? Have you seen World Star Hip Hop? You see women are actually fucking each other up. They're beating men.
Yes.
Excuse
That's all I'm saying.
vanity.
So let's have an honest conversation. It's not getting better.
I agree. Let's start with agree, no buts. Where I was going was my role was, I do believe that women should maintain their role. Me personally, if we were to entertain your subject last week, I've been working on my feminism, being more.
Okay. Now here's the problem. She meant to say femininity, not feminism, because that's a whole different ball game. But you get the point. All right. It's almost coming up here we got about 5 minutes till we get to what she's about to reveal in 5 minutes.
Submissive,
My subject last week.
I think you were talking about, correct me if I'm wrong, talking about women, maybe firstborn women who learned from their mothers who made.
Well, I was talking about sister-daughter, but let's try
exactly.
to stick to this week though, because some people may not have been there this week.
Okay.
All right.
So
All
no,
right. I'm going to stop it here for a second because I'm noticing something that's a pattern with a lot of these women that call Kevin or go on his show. So she said something. I don't know if you heard what she said. She said she was working on her feminism. She meant to say femininity, but it happens when you're talking live. Sometimes you talking faster than you're thinking, and the words come out jumbled. But I just wanted to say, I see something here early on. I don't remember this video. I know I saw it before. I don't remember what happens into the video, but I just noticed one thing about her. And I guess we'll watch and see if it happens in this video. But she's struggling. She's talking about being submissive, but she's struggling to be feminine in this conversation with Kevin. It's like there's a level of wanting to argue with him, but she's trying to fight it off because if you look, I don't know if you're paying attention to what's going on. She's actually showing off. She's showing off in the video. I don't know if you paid attention. She strategically had it so you could see she's in the high-rise building, fancy apartment. So you can see the background. So she's showing you all these things. She's showing her face is made up and she has fancy glasses on and her hair is kind of something like done. So, do you see the struggle in the conversation with her? Like she really wants to argue, but she's kind of not. Because you can hear the argument, but she's doing it in a peaceful way. Have you picked up on that yet?
Yeah, I've seen some of that. I've been kind of my theory on it is, you see how she just referenced last week's episode or whatever. I think the idea is that she's seen his show more than maybe some of the people who usually come on. Mm-hmm. And she's not trying to end up looking like one of the people who he would normally end up clowning or something like that, which is why I imagine she's acknowledging like, yeah, I'm working on my femininity, because that's usually one of the criticisms that he'll give.
That's true. Yeah, so I definitely, now that you bring that up, it definitely makes sense that would be the case. All right, let's stop back in.
Believe in that. What I mean by roles is, we are empowered.
What is your role? As a woman, what's a woman's role on the planet?
My role on the planet is to nurture, to teach. I feel that every human being on
Nope. It's not your role. The female's role is to support the male.
That's don't you think that's a narrow path?
Name me any species on the planet where the female can survive without the group or the male individually.
The argument's coming on. I don't know if you see it, it's slowly progressing into an argument, because you see how she confronted him on that. She was like, isn't that narrow? And now you can see where the disagreeing nature is coming out in her. That woman that she's claiming that she's trying not to be is coming out now. Are you seeing the progression there yet? All right, let's put it back on, because in a couple of minutes, wow, this is moving kind of slower than I thought it would be, because we haven't got to the point that I really wanted to point out, but I'm gonna let it keep on going.
Or name vice versa.
We don't need you to survive. We built the world.
No,
ma'am. See, you feminist, womanist have no idea you're living counter to nature. That's what the coronavirus showed you, that your education and your ability to get out of here, and you can't nurture shit without a man and a family. Your job is, the man's job is to build. The woman's job is to nest.
Correct. And to teach.
Nest what? Teach what? Teach what? Teach what?
Values.
To whom?
Love.
To whom? To whom?
To their offspring.
Thank you. And you need a husband for that first.
I'm agreeing. All I'm saying is that it takes two.
No, it takes women to get, women are women in their natural role, a way that nature intended, or out of their natural role?
I can agree to that. I feel that men have
no. See, that's the bullshit we've been running the black community for the longest. So the black men aren't the one complaining about marriage and not being unprotected, being alone.
I think black men have a more so of a problem with commitment than women.
Right. The stats don't agree. The stats don't agree. When in the black community, the black community, the divorce rate is almost 60%. Almost 90% of divorces are filed by whom?
I don't know the answer.
Women.
Okay, hit me with the facts. That's what I.
That's the fact. So who's leaving your own? If 1 in 4 of you are married and 80 to 90% of you filed divorce when divorce is filed, who has a problem with staying in a relationship?
I think that women have a problem because men don't necessarily.
Always a woman's problem. Tell me what's wrong with women and stop blaming. Tell me what women are doing right and don't blame men. Because everything you talked about a woman, you always linked it back to a man. I keep talking to you about what women are doing with women.
No, I think that women have responsibility as well.
Then let's talk about it then, because every time I've talked to you, you've reflected and lacked accountability. Like most feminists.
See, she didn't disagree to that.
I don't necessarily think I'm a feminist. I think I'm pretty
you are
masculine, and
you
I'm
are
working on being more.
Well, feminine.
So you heard what she said, right? You heard that. So she says that she doesn't necessarily agree that she's a feminist, but that she definitely has masculine ways. So it's interesting how I think the issue is she doesn't want to be known as that, but she will let the masculine, because I think she realizes that she has a hard time not being submissive and not being combative when even just talking to Kevin. So I mean, as he's talking to her, you can see like she's struggling not to argue with him, and she's trying not to argue with him. All right, I'll continue because the part that I want to point out is coming up. I mean, not that I've been pointing out all along, but a special one.
You can only do that in the first world country. Carry your ass to a third world country, see how that works.
I don't want to go.
Of course not, because you couldn't be this. You couldn't be masculine over there. You get checked real quick and let you know exactly where you are in nature.
What I mean by masculine is I am an independent woman.
You see how she changed that?
Really?
Yes, and I don't necessarily agree.
Independent meaning what? You got a job?
I pay my own bills. Yeah.
Congratulations, you're an adult.
I agree.
So why is that a badge of honor?
I don't necessarily know.
Are you a six-figure earner?
Yes.
Okay. How many children do you have?
I don't have children yet.
You're a six-figure earner, divorcee with no children. Mm-hmm. Are you happy?
I'm extremely happy. I think
really?
I'm a little too happy alone.
You too happy?
I'm in a relationship.
You see? Oh, you see that? What did she just say there? Did you hear it?
I heard I'm too happy alone, and then it immediately went the other way.
Right. And to me, that's a big deception. So I think what's going on here is she finds herself losing in the discussion with him. So she's pivoting from being single to now being in a relationship. I can't tell at this point, because I haven't listened too far into this discussion, that it shows if she's lying or not about her relationship, but for definitely there's some foolery going on, because in the beginning, do you remember what she first said to Kevin about tomorrow? She asked him to marry her tomorrow. So if I'm in a relationship with this woman, I'm not too happy that you playing single and trying to talk to another man. But I guess let's see if Kevin exposes that. I don't know if he exposes it or not. I don't know if he just ignores it. I mean, she looks somewhat cute. You know, definitely wouldn't say she's an unattractive woman. She looks cute and has her stuff together, but, you know, we'll see. So, I mean, but you did catch that. I mean, now that I bring it up, you see what I'm talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
However, it's taking a little longer than I'd like for us to get married. And so I've decided.
How long have you been in a relationship?
For 4 years.
Does he have any children?
No, he does not.
Does he earn more than you?
Yes, he does.
Are you guys in a monogamous, committed relationship?
We are.
Did he want to marry you?
He says he does.
Did you enter this relationship with the intention of getting married day one? Were you dating to be married from day one?
We both.
Were you dating to be married from day one?
We both got it.
I'm asking you. I can't talk. I don't want to talk for him. Were you dating from day one with the intention to be married?
Those are always my intentions, to build a foundation. Yes.
So now I want to have this discussion. You see what the problem is going on here? There's not an honest discussion that she's having with Kevin. She's kind of pushing everything all over the place. First, she started, wanting to marry him. Then now she's in this relationship. Then she says she wants to, she dates with the intention of getting married. But she been with the guy 4 years and doesn't know if they're going to get married or not. He talks about getting married, but she's not 100% sure. And then all of a sudden she says that he's making more money than she is, which is an interesting tell because it hits some of his talking points in terms of the guy being a high earner or a high value man. So it's hitting the point. So what is your impression? Do you have even an impression of her so far into this conversation? What are your thoughts about her?
My largest takeaway from this sort of thing, it really just feels like, and understandably so, even though I wouldn't personally go for this strategy, but it feels like she just doesn't want to look stupid or something like that. That's what it kind of feels like. That's why I think she's not as aggressive as some of the other people who come on the show. But trying to avoid an outright conflict, at least that's what I'm taking away from it. It's resulting in some inconsistency in points, I guess. And she's starting to get her answers picked apart at slowly. But it doesn't seem like she's exactly prepared for that.
All right. So let's continue and see what she has to say.
No, I asked a very specific question. You can't play word games with me. So I'm going to try one more time. When you started dating this man, were you dating this man with the intent of being married?
Yes.
Okay. In what time frame?
Considering that we both went through a divorce.
In what time frame?
I say 3 to 4 years, like right now.
3 to 4 years. Why did you need 3 to 4 years if you started dating with the intention to be married on day one? Where does that make any sense in the world?
I don't know. I figured that would be the average amount of time.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? 3 to 4 years for dating before marriage. Can't make this shit up, people. What did I say? Women are the reason marriages don't happen because you take forever.
Well, it's not me that's holding it.
Well, no, ma'am, yeah, it is. Because if you said you're dating with the intention to be married, you set the time frame of 3 to 4 years, and I'm saying it takes what? A month to 6 at best. There have been 5 couples that have gotten married in my Facebook group, and they've been married in less than 6 months. They've met each other and been married in under 6 months. 3 years? Did your grandmother date your grandfather for 3 years? No. So why don't we just rewind and say, you know what? I may not like the way you said it, Kevin, but even based upon what I'm saying, we don't know how to date, because if I use myself as an example, you're the very woman I'm talking about. Successful, college educated, and all this other stuff. 6 figures, happy, but no closer to marriage today than you were 4 years ago. And you still in a relationship with somebody who ain't put a ring on your finger in 4 years? He ain't got the problem, you do.
I don't know if it's that simple.
It is that simple. You should leave. If you want to be married, why are you with somebody who ain't put a ring on your finger in 4 years?
Well, actually, I'm in the process of kind of just pouring in my own cup until, it play out.
So, again, folks, this is...
What does that mean? Pouring in your own cup? What in the world? Do you know what that means, Donnie? Because I have no idea what that means, pouring in your own cup.
I haven't heard that before. However, yeah, the point that Kevin just made was what I was thinking the whole time, which is, yeah, if you go in, let's forget the whole point of marriage takes like 1 to 6 months or whatever. Even that, all that aside, right? If you're going into a situation with that 3-4 years already set, if it doesn't happen, that is grounds to leave. If you're not having the literal thing you started the relationship with the like plan of doing, and it's not happening, then there's no point in doing so, right?
Yeah.
It's like if you go buy a car, and what you don't want to have to spend money on gas often, but this is like a gas guzzler and you have to buy every 2 days, you sell the car, right? You don't keep it. So something has to be either something has to be like off with the judgment there, or maybe she's not honest with her own goals or whatever. Something's off there.
That's true. All right, let's listen on.
Why I say women don't know how to pick men. Listen to what I said. Listen to what I said. Audience, I'm talking to you, audience. Everything I've said, whether you like it or not, this woman has proved it. 4 years. You said you started dating this man with an intention to be married. It does not take 4 effing years.
What I should do without forcing.
First off, after your divorce, did you get any therapy?
Yes.
All right. Why did you and your first husband divorce?
We were
Who filed for divorce? Who filed for divorce?
It was a mutual decision.
Who filed for divorce?
It was mutual.
Who filed for divorce? Who filed for divorce? Who filed for divorce?
I can't necessarily.
Who filed for divorce?
I did.
Thank you. It's not a very hard question. You filed for divorce.
Well, in that
you filed for the ma'am. You just filed for divorce. That's all I'm asking.
But tell
you
me,
filed, no, ma'am. You filed for divorce. You filed for divorce. You filed for divorce. You picked him. You married him. You picked him, and you filed for divorce. Like I said, again, you can't make this shit up. You didn't pick the first time. You should have been picking somebody without a job, getting married, and then you wrecked your own home. You left a man who didn't have a job. You knew what he was. I don't care. Okay. This is what I mean. You guys pick on potential and shit. This is why I say college educated, independent, earner, making these kind of decisions. You'd be better off if a man would be able to direct you. But this is the first go round. You said you had therapy. If you've had therapy, then that means if you work the process, you should be making better decisions afterwards. And now you're in a relationship of 4 years and you still ain't married. The only common denominator in all this chaos is you. The man doesn't want to marry you. Now, it's either one of two things. One, does he want to get married? Are you a wife? Because it's been my experience, a marrying man, a man who wants to get married, they snap women up who are wives like this. Women who are truly wives, men rush to pull them off the market.
Trust and believe. I've been proposed to several times. I feel the same.
There it go. It's that one they go to. So for those of you who watch Kevin Samuels, you know, anytime the woman is drowning in an argument, they go to that, I've been proposed to several times. So she can't take an L when he gave her one. So she had to pivot to, well, I've had men propose to me in the past, which is classic lady response on Kevin Samuels' show. If I had $1 for every time I've heard that on his show, I would never have to work again. So there's another tell. So that makes me want to, now she's getting angry. So the masculine energy that she's talking about is really starting to take shape now. I don't know if you see that at this point in the conversation. Do you?
Yeah. I think he's hitting on things that she's maybe a little less, and not to assume anything, but it seems like things she's a little less secure on, or maybe things that don't support the narrative that she's going for. So I imagine that's why the defense is a little higher.
Yeah, definitely. She got that defense over there, that championship defense that she has. So we'll see what it sounds like. It's about to be a brawl in a second. So let's see what happens now.
That did not make your case any better.
I mean, I feel that when a man knows what he wants, he doesn't.
That didn't make it any better, man.
That
made it absolutely worse. But if that's the case, then you should know better.
So here, let's start, because this is what I'm going to call, as the kids say, cap. Because when did this happen? Because if you were divorced so many years ago and now you're in a relationship for 4 years, when did you have a time for men to propose to you? I'm just trying to figure that out. And if that was the case, if men proposed to you, then why weren't you engaged and married to those men? Because clearly you had some type of relationship where somebody thought that you were good enough to marry. Either that or they were simping and they were like, oh, let me suck up to you and be your boyfriend. You know what I mean? So they're sucking up. They want to marry you, even though they're not getting anything from you. I know there's some guys like that. Maybe that's what she's talking about. All right, so let's see what happens from here.
Mm-hmm.
And why are you with somebody for 4 years if you've seen that? See, so that's my point.
See, that's what I just said.
Nope. I don't think it's that. I think it's the fact of the matter is he probably hit your spot the right way and you making something try to work that ain't meant to work.
Fair enough.
That's why men should be in charge of this stuff, because y'all are too emotional. What did that woman say? Because our feelings get involved and we get all emotional and tingly places, and men can see things in other men that we can't see. Hold on. And this is the stupid, excuse me, I'm going to say this. Y'all do this stupid shit all the time. Men do it too. Y'all do it too. That doesn't help you. The fact of the matter is, man, 4 years of wasted time. And I said, dating is dumb. It doesn't help you. Well, you need to know somebody. In 4 years, you ain't down the aisle. What you need, 20? How many years do you need to date before it works?
I don't know. People have so many secrets and
so. And nobody. Okay, so how you gonna know the secret? So you need to know it. So in other words, thank you. This shit is going to probably go super viral because people are gonna think I paid you. Because, man, I get what you're saying, and all it's fear-based. People have so many secrets. So what do you think? You still spend the same amount of calendar years with that person. They're just not legally married, right? Mm-hmm. What are you protecting?
My assets.
Oh my fucking God. I did not pay this woman, I swear to God.
That's super cap. So you just said this guy that you're with makes more money than you. So if he's making more money than you, what assets are you preserving? Because nine times out of 10, if you go get married to somebody and it ends in divorce, the person that's the higher earner is the one that ends up paying. So, yeah, I'm calling BS on that.
All right. And I would also add that regardless of that, if she was so concerned, prenups can be easily arranged.
I agree with that. And then see, I'm starting to sweat here.
I didn't pay her. I did not pay her.
Okay, so
her assets. Holy shit.
I'm protecting my future and the foundation that I want to build.
You are not protecting your future. Your most valuable asset is your time. Your most valuable asset as a woman is your time.
Absolutely.
And you've taken 4 years of your valuable time. You're 30 what?
9.
Whoa.
39. You are effectively done with children or a remote possibility.
No, not necessarily.
I said remote possibility. I don't care who you are, ma'am. You're past geriatric pregnancy. Most OBGYN.
I'm speaking from a place of knowing, not guessing.
I'm speaking from a place of science. Most OBGYNs don't recommend carrying a child past age 42. That's why I said remote. I didn't say none.
Okay.
Shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right. The need to be right tends to be heavy in our PhD'd women.
I'm a PhD.
That's why this whole thing, everything, men do it too, such and so forth. It's when a place where you're trying to get some information, still trying to be right. Bottom line is, ma'am, you're trying to protect your asset. The most valuable asset any woman has is her womb and her time, and you wasted it. 4 years, and you don't have a commitment. no nothing. So if this is over, then what? You're gonna go back out there? You can't go back and be 29, 19. You're gonna be 40 years old with frozen eggs?
Possibly.
Right.
A lot of women are having children at the age of 39 to 41 these days.
I swear to
That
God,
is a true fact.
God, I swear, guys, I swear to God, I didn't pay her.
I'm listening. I mean, can you answer this for me?
Don't make
I
someone
think
else
I
clean up your
told
mess.
you, okay, so I've wasted my time. I should have moved on. You say after a month.
Fair
or
use.
a
You
year.
shouldn't spend a year with nobody, especially as you've been married and divorced. You should be better at picking than a young girl.
You don't think that the divorce rate would go up if people?
I don't give a shit about the divorce rate. I'm talking about you.
Okay.
See, notice how every time we start getting specific, they want to get general and talk about everything else except the person in the mirror. You.
As Soldier Boy says.
Why'd you pick the man you picked to marry had no job or low earning?
He worked in construction and he had gigs.
Story changing
But
again.
in terms of us being equally yoked financially,
Story changing.
not
Why didn't you
like
marry a
that.
guy
He
that you
was
met
really
at college?
smart and
Why didn't you? So since you've been proposed to before, didn't you say you've been proposed to
yes,
before their first husband?
yes.
Why didn't you pick one of those guys? Because they didn't make me tingle.
It's actually a funny story. You don't want to
No, I really don't. It's not funny. None of this shit's funny to me. I get tired of seeing so many of our sisters unmarried, childless, and sad, trying to act
Well,
like
I
you're
found
happy.
out that the other two proposals, one I was way too young, and the second one before my marriage, he was like a con artist, and I found out that
It's always something.
no, this was serious.
You picked a guy who was unequally financially yoked, but you picked him.
I did. I believed in him.
Then why'd you stop? You walked down the aisle and you committed to him.
Oh, I went to court and committed to him. Yes.
You went down the aisle and committed to him. Went down the court. They still use the same vows.
Yes.
And you said your mother's Muslim.
She is.
Are you a believer in anything?
I'm Christian.
Ain't none of this shit Christian. I mean, Christianity, if nothing else, tells you definitely your place is where Eve was. Help me, support system. So after the first one, and you were out of alignment, picking somebody who could not cover the garden, much less cover you, then you decide to get therapy, cool. Then you're in something for 4 years.
It was a great 4 years. We've traveled.
Well, I'm glad, but but again, I swear, guys, what I say, they don't mind wasting their time. Some women don't mind having babies, but it's still nothing. You've got nothing. You got no husband, nothing on that. You wasted 4 years protecting your assets. No disrespect, ma'am, but unless you are wealthy, what you have as assets ain't worth a whole lot. But it's all you got. And it's easier to say you'd rather have money than this. You didn't marry a man who wants to marry
my
you.
happiness. I'm very content.
Okay, then you shouldn't be worried about getting married either. So if you're happy, if you're happy, then marriage shouldn't be on table. You should be right here.
Well,
There should be a
I
next
don't have
level.
control of things. I just let
You know
life-
what?
I don't have. Like I said, I'm not the one who don't want to get married. I don't have control. To your point,
You don't have
yes,
control of what? You have
it's
control of whether or not you're in a
easier said
relationship
than
with a man you don't
done.
want to marry. It's not easier said than done.
to walk away from someone that you love more than anyone ever. That's not
Guys, listen, go back to the beginning. What Amira was saying. This is why you get married, because you're going to be with somebody and have sex and get all involved and make stupid decisions. This is all I need. This is going to be the only interview I need, because this is picture perfect. And sadly, this is too much the case. And instead of just admitting, I don't know how to pick. I pick wrong. And I pick based upon things that don't work. And saying you're happy. A happy woman will be with her man and doing something else right now. Not talking about I don't have control. What do you mean don't have control? You said you want to be married. That's what you said you wanted.
To the right person, yes.
Oh, now you're gonna start the bargaining part. So now he's not the right person.
Absolutely. Like I said, it's not.
So you said you want to be married to the right person. The implication in that sentence is he wasn't the right person. So he is the right person. You want to be married to him, yes or no?
I do want to.
Then if you want to be married to him,
yes.
when do you want to marry him? 10 years from now?
No, like I said, I'm ready now.
Then how can you be happy? How can you be happy with somebody you say you?
So this is really now getting very bizarre to me, because at this point she is contradicting herself excessively, because she claims that she has this masculine energy, that she wants to be married. They talked about getting married. All these years have passed. They haven't gotten married. She's ready now, but she hasn't locked down why it hasn't happened. And she hasn't confronted the issue as to why he hasn't proceeded to marrying her, which is really weird, because it goes to show you that she just so it looks like she called Kevin just so that she can look fantastic in his eyes. Like I always say, there's a certain element of women that call and they're looking for validation. So they call Kevin to validate themselves on their lifestyle. And I think she tried to do that. She tried to win an argument with him, or at least to get him to be on board with what she was saying, but it didn't happen. And she just keeps changing the versions of her life, which is peculiar to me. What do you think about that?
One thing that really threw me off, just very quickly, I just wanted to throw this in there, was when she said that like her previous relationship was very good. It was a good 4 years or whatever. But they did get divorced, so it can't have been that good. You know what I'm saying? Like, a good moments don't equal a good relationship.
Right. Yes.
But that aside, I think she's taking for granted her own wants, I guess, in the sense that, like, she's talking about how, yeah, her current relationship, it's solid and all that, but she does want to be married, but she also doesn't have control over it. And just as Kevin just said, she could leave if that was the case, but she also made the point that, oh, it's easier said than done to just leave someone who you love more than blah, 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 whatever, right? I think the main issue with that is you can't love a person more than anyone if they're blatantly refusing to give you like the one thing that you wanted out of the relationship. You know, there's no way that you can be that attached to someone who won't just give you a thing that just, because marriage isn't as big as a lot of people make it. It's just like, hey, our relationship's now official and it's legal. We're bound together via this. So she can't love this person to that sort of extent if he can't do something like that, if he's apparently also wanting to marry her, as she has said previously.
Yeah, that's totally true, definitely. And let's hear what she rants on with at this point.
Want to marry right now, and you don't have a wedding ring, a proposal, or any plans in the future.
What I just said.
We have plans.
Where's the wedding ring and the proposal?
I mean, I agree. Words, you know, that's about it.
And this is happy. This is modern women. This is modern. This is why dating is dumb for modern women. You don't know how to pick.
Well, it's easier said than done.
I don't want to hear all this, man. It's not easier said than done. No. You live in a dysfunctional culture where you guys have been allowed complete freedom and you don't know how to pick. That's the problem. So all them women back and who had all those restrictions, one thing you don't find a lot from women when these cultures where they get married quickly, arranged, they're much happier than you are because they're in their natural role. They got their family, their kids, their husbands. They don't have all this trauma from all these broken relationships. They don't have all they don't have all these dudes that they've been bouncing back and forth with because they've been with one person. Y'all a bunch of trauma. So what do you got? $100,000 in the plan, $100,000 and 100,000 miles on a heart, and nothing to show for it. And it's time we start saying this shit. This doesn't work, man. How do families come out of this? How does a community come out of this? It doesn't, because there's no next step. It's perpetual high school. So,
ladies, please, ladies. If you're gonna go on podcasts or somebody's YouTube show, invest in one of these. A stand to rest your cell phone on. It's very inexpensive. You see this lady, her camera's constantly moving. You put the phone on like this, and then you can put the camera on, and the camera doesn't move and shake all over the place. Hey. This one is very inexpensive.
Hey, also inexpensive and multifunctional. A nice little pop socket, and just prop that up. You can use it to hold your phone better. Not sponsored.
Yeah, so lady, you're just getting me dizzy. I'm tired of seeing your balcony. And why did you go to the balcony earlier anyway? That made no sense. I like your view, but I mean, big deal.
I don't care about your income, your education. If we're gonna move through life like a bunch of damn high schoolers at the beginning, we're courting, we talking, we enjoying each other, we never grow the fuck up.
Yeah, it's bad. And, you know, I'm not trying to pinpoint, but I feel that from my experience and my friends' experience, there is a lot of men that do not respect women. We're not just...
Ma'am, I don't want to hear about men. I want to hear about...
You know, this lady is driving me crazy because she is all over the highway about to cause a 10-car pileup, because now you're up to men respecting. First, all of a sudden, you have this guy you about to get married or trying to get married, and oh, what happened there? I don't know. Yeah, and now you're back to this. It's just she's just totally obnoxious. She's driving me crazy at this point. All right, go ahead, lady, whoever you are.
No. I want to hear about this. I'm talking to you and your man. I would not let you come on here and talk about all these men and make it their problem. Go to Oprah, go to The View, go somewhere else. That ain't this channel.
The View.
The man you with don't respect you? The man you with, does he respect you or not?
That's what I just said.
The man you with, does he respect you? Yes or no?
In some areas, no.
Then why are you
Wow. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you. Because if you say in some ways he respects you, in some ways he doesn't, why are you still with the guy? 4 years, you're 39 years old, about to be 40. You don't have time to waste. Like he said,
also loves her. She loves him more than other people.
More than, yes, exactly. This woman, whatever therapist she's been seeing for a month, she needs to fire that guy or woman and find somebody else, because she's a hot mess. And there is no cleanup on aisle 7. I tell you that much.
Aha!
Because
Thank you. You're a strong, independent. You're an
progressing.
If he doesn't respect you, why
she said he's progressing?
You there?
Because he's taking the necessary steps to.
Because you're choosing to be with a man. Because you're choosing to be with a man that doesn't respect you. Just like you chose to be with a dude that was unequally financially yoked. You don't know how to pick what works. So don't tell me about the men that are out there.
Did that sound like she was agreeing with him?
Yeah, it seems like she kind of flips back and forth between agreeing and disagreeing.
Yeah, definitely. That's not a very flattering image of her at that point. Let me put it back on so we can get that unflattering image of her off the screen.
Because you've been proposed to many times. What about all the guys that were suitable and willingness? Did they make you tingle?
You gotta have
yeah, and this is what you get you.
Okay.
Tingling and alone.
I take it.
I don't find it funny. I don't find it funny because in the West, like it or not, I don't know. I'm gonna tell you why I don't find it funny. I don't find it funny because just like in the West, the next lowest married group of women is white women at 54%. They're the original feminists and womanists, but you know what they had enough sense to do? Get married, have families.
Well, I don't like being compared to a white woman because they don't have.
I don't.
the same
I'm not
background as a
comparing.
black
I don't.
woman
I'm
as a
comparing
black
marital.
man.
Wow. Talk about a lack of logic there, because she missed the point entirely. That wasn't him talking about black people versus white people. That was just him explaining the perspective of white people, which is different than what the perspective of black people are at a lower percentage of marriage, which she lost. She should get her tuition money back from whatever school she went to. Agree?
I'll pray for her full refund.
All right, folks, let's continue. We're almost done here.
Don't overtalk me
Let's
on
be
my
clear.
channel. Don't overtalk me on my channel. I'm comparing the marital rates. I don't care. I'm not comparing you to white women.
Well, you just said white woman.
I said the next lowest group of married women are white women. That's what I said.
Just relax.
Ooh.
Don't tell me relax. You gonna try to do this racial shit? That's not what I was doing.
I feel if I can share my opinion, I feel like you have a lot of.
This is what it has become. That's what Kevin Samuels sounds like to this lady, I tell you.
Tension when it comes to women. I'm not going far left and saying that you don't like women and you bash women, but I feel.
Wow, you see, that's what he says. Shame, insults, and a need to be right. I think I might be missing a word, but there it is. There it is. So instead of addressing the issue, she attacks him and saying that he's disrespectful to women, despite being on this video for over 30 minutes. But hey,
that there's tension here, and for black women in particular, and I think that you have to go a little deeper than.
I have no patience for I have no patience for things that don't work when you are supposed to be educated, intelligent, independent, and you can look at facts, data, statistics, and you can make good business decisions for companies and corporations that you work for. But in your personal life, you decide to be stupid. I have no patience for foolishness. When you can be a college-educated woman and then turn around and marry a broke construction worker. No, I don't, because it affects our black community. Because you know what comes out of this? 1 out of 4 of our women will get married when the next group of people are married at a rate of 54% or higher. That's how come they have generational wealth. That's why their dollar circulates anywhere from 7 days to 16 days and ours circulates 6 hours. That's why black boys are reading at the 4th grade level. That's why black boys and black girls are at the bottom. I have no patience because you women are the first teachers of children, and 80% of our children are coming out of single mother homes. Got no patience for that shit. And why do you?
I didn't say I didn't.
Mm.
You know, it's my journey. Moving forward, I appreciate your advice.
Passive aggressive.
I don't know why we should think we should have patience for this shit. Go back to G6 if you want to have somebody have patience with it. Make sure you pay your tithes and offerings on time. The collection plate coming through. You want patience going over there? They got plenty of patience and plenty of room in the front row. The men that share your reflection, who hear this shit, have no patience. And the men that share your reflection that you're passing up to deal with dudes that ain't about nothing, then when those very men that you don't have time for decide to go off to Becky, Marisol, Marlene, then all of a sudden they selling out, they don't like it, they hate their mama, such and so forth. You can't stop that shit. All of it in one thing. That's what it is.
Yeah, I think that's it in terms of the conversation with her. So I think we can at this point kind of get our impressions of the whole discussion. He did expose some of the issues that dating have caused in relationships, which is one, people have used up so much time. They squandered so much time in dating, but they don't understand what's a healthy time to date versus progressing towards the goal of marriage in a permanent relationship. And I think what happens is a lot of women get complacent and they let men get away with not doing what they're supposed to be doing. That's a big problem. But until people figure that out, when they get into relationships, those type of things are going to happen. You're going to have 39 and 40 and 45-year-old people getting in relationships, talking about getting married someday and not getting married someday at all. So, I mean, what do you think about Donnie, about that specific conversation?
I think I've mentioned this more than once before, but this is a serious situation where you need to be aware of your non-negotiable. Like seriously know what it is that's valuable to you, and don't stick in any sort of situation that doesn't align with that, because as it was said, it is a waste of time overall. I'll give her a commendation for being trying to be cordial, but it also led to her not standing by her own opinions and also getting caught in logical fallacy.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, it looked bad because she was all over the place. She was passive aggressive, didn't know she was going to argue, and wanted to argue with him for so long, and then finally found something to argue, and then insulted him, saying how he was acting towards women and stuff like that. What did I have to have with the conversation? So yeah. Yeah. So I think that was definitely a good episode to talk about. I think it's important for people to understand these things. And with that being said, being that Jim is not here, we're going to go into the portion of the show that he is responsible for, and that's relationship braces. So hold on here. Today, we're talking about relationships. Dating doesn't work for modern women, but we will attempt to navigate you in the difficulties of life and love through relationship braces, bringing hearts together, one heart at a time. All right, Donnie. So you can do those relationship braces. And what do you think we can tell people to do in terms of really making dating work so that it can progress to marriage, to families, and not be 39 years old looking for a relationship towards marriage, and you've been with someone for 4 years with no end in sight?
Just, as I said, just stay true to yourself. Don't make excuses for another person. And don't stay in a situation that doesn't actually fulfill you just because it's easier.
Okay. Your heart must go on. So I'm going to put it here, and then we're going to end this. This is a great reaction video, as we've seen some of the trials and tribulations that happens on Captain Shamu's podcast. But the point is really, ladies and gentlemen, please, the woman has some points that were valid, and you have to be honest. You have to confront the inconvenient truth, and that's, you gotta know where you're going, the direction you're going to be in, your timetables for what you want, and you have to be religious with that, and you can't compromise on those values, because if not, people who are not on the same page as you, they'll string you along until they can't string you along anymore. And before that, you'd be way older than you expected to be, and then you're just trying to figure out what to do with life at that point. So please, people, when you're getting into relationships, you got to have what your end goal is in that relationship. If it's just to date someone and never settle down, be true to that. Let the other person know up front. If you're looking for marriage, especially ladies, let the guy know up front. Give him a timetable to work the magic. Maybe not even telling him, just implied in your mind, well, I'm going to give him 6 months or 5 months or whatever. Nothing happens there. Move on. Because here's the thing. You try to invest and invest and invest to people that you think will say, okay, I'll be with her. I'll be with her. And then before you know it, you're past that age of where your sexual marketplace value disappears. And then now you're struggling to get into a relationship. So it's important that you really know what your non-negotiables are, as Donnie has stated several times in previous podcasts and this evening. And then you have to really set the standard for what your relationship should look like, what direction is going to go in within a valuable amount of short time. So I think we're going to end that there because this was definitely a productive reaction video. And with myself and Donnie St. James, we wish you a fair night, evening, afternoon, morning, depending on when you're watching this or listening. With that being said, Jonathan out,
Okay.
and see you soon.
Good night or morning.